So from here we go into JAX-RS, and now it's getting interesting for you. The first thing I actually want to change in this state is that it prints something on screen so I can test my code. I wrote system out print line hello world, so it prints hello world on the screen just to see that we were able to write the most simplistic Java program ever. And now I want to be able to start with MVN Exec, because the Maven Exec plugin allows me to just ignore where my code path is made up from, my class path is made up from. So what I want to do is actually this. And to be able to do this, I need a bit more code. So I have prepared this one, which simply allows us to call the Maven Exec plugin, and we have to provide it with the correct class name. And the main class, actually, we can copy it from here with hello world in this package. So let's do this. Oops, sorry. Dot hello world. Okay, so this should work. Sorry, this has to be inside of the build section. And let's format it nicely. Okay. So let's see if that works. Yeah, here it prints hello world. So again, why did I do that? It makes the POM a little bit more complex, but it allows me to simply write MVN exec Java every time I want to start my program on the command line, without me remembering where the class files are located. I know they're in target classes, but it makes things just easier. So this is something I do in all my projects, actually. The second step I do often in my projects is to package it into a jar file, and in particular an executable jar file. So to make the jar file executable, we need to change something, because MVN package would not make it executable. So we do the second step. Actually, I skipped the part where I add the executable name to a normal jar file, because there's not much benefit. If I would do that, I would end up with an executable jar file that possibly is dependent of more jars in the next step. So I have to remember where those jars are located. So I skip all that and go directly to the shading. So what shading does is rather simple. First of all, we use the Maven Shade plugin, which is a repackager, you could say, for all the jars that you have built or are dependencies. So it unpacks everything from all the jars and puts it together in a new jar, so-called Uber jar or shaded jar. And this happens by executing the goal shade, and the goal shade executes automatically in the packaging phase. So what I need here is that I give some rules about that transformation when packing together. There are two reasons for that. The reason number one is I said I want it to be executable, and so it needs my main class again, which is this manifest transformation. And I also later need something. I add that line automatically always when shading something, because if anything in that shaded jar that uses the service loader API from Java, and I pretty well do know that I need that in the next step, then this would break, because due to every service jar having a file with the same name, it would override those files, right? What I want to do here is to build one common file made up of all their single service descriptions. So I end up with one big shaded jar having all those services correctly registered again. If you don't know about a service loader API, that's a pretty interesting topic. You should go into the Java docs of the service loader class and just read its description. It all explains it in one place. In short, it's good for writing plugin architectures in Java. Well, you might wonder what kind of plugin architecture I have here. Well, I don't have yet. What I have is Hello World, but I know that when it comes to adding some implementations of JAX-RS, I will do it with Jersey. That implementation, Jersey, actually uses the service loader API. And later I will extend my program to actually use the service loader to do some more tricks in JAX-RS that you want to see later. So don't mind me writing this code right here already, because I need it later in this project. So what we can do now is Maven package, and let's see what happens. So we should have now a jar file which executes in a target, and there's now the original one and there is the shaded one, and it's here. This one's the shaded one. So it's not called shaded something, but the original is called original something, and the shaded one is the project name. So it's cdemo. Yeah, and it prints hello world. So this was the second step to prepare the environment that I will do mostly when writing standalone Java programs. So from here we go into JAX-RS, and now it's getting interesting for you.